And welcome back to another edition of Behind the Gate with Scott and Kate. I'm your co-host, Scott Waddell, along with Caitlin Wesley. We've got another special guest with us. But first of all, we'd like to thank our sponsors of this show, MCK Truck and Train, Blaine McKenna. And those folks do a fabulous job with transportation of horses around the region. And whether you're going to the U.S. or Ontario or wherever you want to go, he can take you there. So make sure you check out MCK Truck and Train. And as I mentioned, 9th episode. And make sure if you're watching this to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any up and coming podcasts in the near future. So I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Caitlin Wesley, and she's going to introduce our special guest on this Good Friday Easter edition of Behind the Gate with Scott and Kate. Go ahead, Kate.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm so excited to have Zach on with us, Zach Mullins. He's a up-and-coming driver and trainer at Inverness Raceway. He's well known on the track. He's been in some events as well as a young driver. His stats absolutely say it all. So, Zach, welcome aboard, and I'm excited to get to know more about you.
Yes, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it very much. Getting the call to come on Behind the Gate.
Awesome. Yeah, so your stats have been pretty impressive this year, the past year actually. In 2023, you had, as a driver, you had 139 starts, 24 wins, 21 seconds, and 21 thirds for earnings of $31,000. And your UDRS is 306, so that's pretty wicked. But then I go into looking at your training stats and I compare them to your driving stats, and it's like your stable did wicked. I have to say, like, out of, all those 103 starts of your stable, like, you had 15 wins, you had 18 seconds, and 21 of those thirds that you got driving were from your own stable. Like, that's huge. So congrats on that. And I can't wait to talk more about it.
Yes, thanks very much. Very successful season.
So Zach, congratulations on a great season. And I've been fortunate enough to watch some races at Inverness and catch you in action, and can tell you're one of the young up and coming drivers. So congratulations on a great year. And why don't you tell our listeners, first off, Zach, how you got involved in harness racing?
Okay, well, I got involved when I was about 4 years old. My father, I'm a third generation horseman. My father got me into it. He's been a very successful trainer over the years as well. He taught me everything I pretty well know.
Okay.
So that's how I got involved, was my father, and his father got him involved. And I went from there, and we're here today.
That's awesome.
So I was talking to Red Deer. We were talking to Red Doucette the other night, and he had mentioned that you've got about 6 horses, I think, in your stable this coming year.
Yeah, I got 2 2-year-old colts. I got 3 race horses and 1 3-year-old.
Okay, how's the 2-year-olds looking?
They're looking all right. They're on schedule so far. Doing good.
Yeah, are they maritime bred, I presume, are they?
One, I have a malicious colt. He's maritime bred. I own that with Keegan McLean, one of my buddies, and Luke McDonald from Inverness. He's doing good. And the other one I have, he's Ontario sired. He's by Daly. He's doing all right.
Okay, Daly, yeah.
He was his mother died when he was born. He was one of them orphan horses.
Okay.
So I got him in the sale. He's doing
Okay.
Awesome.
No, excellent.
So you've been driving since 2020, so not really that long ago that you kind of hit behind the gate. And And 2023 season, like I said, was kind of your best year yet. You keep growing every year. You keep doing your ultimate best. Um, you put a couple of exciting moments in the season. What were they to you?
Well, it ended off in 2022. I won the Governor's Cup consolation in 2022, and that gave me some confidence. And I wanted to get some redemption the next year to win the Governor's Cup final, and I ended up doing that. I won the second leg of the series, and then I got second in the first leg of the series, and we ended up winning the final with Revenant. He was quite the honor to drive, and I'd like to thank Tyler Link for giving me the opportunity to drive him.
That's awesome. Yeah, he raced huge for you, and you got to the winner's circle, and that would have been an absolute thrill for you to get there.
Yeah,
That's for
so
sure.
I was a little nervous for the big race. Obviously, it was the biggest race I was ever in, so I figured we'd leave out and try to get it done. We got her done.
Awesome.
Oh, good job. And you're one of the young gun drivers that we kind of give the nickname to, Zach, and hailing from Nova Scotia. And you've competed in a couple of those type events, like the Gamester Pinckney driving series. What's it like to participate in those type of series, and what do you get out of them as far as a stepping stone in your driving career?
Well, I think it's definitely a good experience for young drivers to drive against other drivers from different tracks, their age, around their same age, their same caliber, like skill, kind of starting off. They're all starting off. I think it's good that way. I think we should keep doing them challenges for the young people. Definitely.
Yeah,
As a
yeah, I know
young,
driver.
yeah, absolutely. Like you get a chance to drive horses that you probably would never even think of getting a chance to drive. So
Yeah.
having all that different, opportunities, and it probably opens more doors for you too, as a driver to be on those horses.
Yeah. Like if I remember right, I drove Junebug's baby, and not many people would want to drive him, but I was the young gun and I got up on him.
Yeah, he's a handful, that horse.
Yeah, it was quite the horse.
He's been around a long time. He won a lot of races in the Maritimes, but he's
Yeah.
got that reputation of being one that's rangy for sure to sit behind.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah, so
young and
definitely shows the top.
Yeah, and as an up and coming driver in Nova Scotia, what do you personally think harness racing should, do to help encourage more of the young folks that are already involved, or ones that should get involved and, maybe even get their driver's license or trainers?
Well, I think the pony races that you're running, I think that's a really good start for kids to get the feel of what it's like. Also, I think Nova Scotia could try to do like a matinee program like Charlottetown has, their PI. That would be good for amateurs or younger
Good point.
people doing around here. And I don't know if it'd be possible, but if they could do an amateur race for like an actual race, have the same rules, go for the purse money, and have the 5 or 6 drivers do that. Make the race mean something.
Absolutely. I totally get it. I've put on like a couple of the amateur driving championship challenges for Nova Scotia and had them from, drivers from all the 3 tracks of Nova Scotia. And we tried to do the circuit. Sometimes it's harder than others just due to travel and things like that. But I think you're 100% right. If they can get behind that gate,
Yeah.
get that taste of what it's like, I think that then people are hooked. They want to do it. They want to kind of, make that goal to become a driver like you or a driver like Red. So
Yeah.
it's, trying to push, not so push, but encourage them, I guess. I completely agree. Start them
Yeah.
young, move them on up and get them in the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point there, Zach, about how PEI has really grown their up and coming drivers through the matinee program, and you know, maybe Nova Scotia could look at starting something like that as well, and get kind of get the youngsters with the fire in the belly. And you know, when did you kind of first realize and that you wanted to be a driver? Was there a particular moment that you said, I want to get some qualifiers under my belt and see if this feels natural to me?
Yeah. Well, in 2018, I moved to PEI for 2 or 3 months to work for Mark Campbell, and I lived with Mark. So
Yeah,
I was training and jogging for Mark a little bit, and he was saying that maybe I should get my license eventually because I'm doing good and stuff. So I took that into consideration, because coming from Mark Campbell, that's a pretty big honor to get them words said to you. So I thought
yeah,
about
absolutely.
yeah.
Yes. So how long did you work for Mark?
Just for the winter, I think it was 3 or 4 months in like 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great experience. And like you say, when a guy like Mark sees some talent in you and tells you that, you know, you should, you know, try and make a go of this thing, then, you know, it's certainly, you know, great advice from a guy that's, you know, the best in the Maritimes right now.
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience in the Gamester Pinckney this past year. I'm trying to remember. You can kind of refresh our memories about who you had in the race and what you finished.
I think the first one, I think there was 2 legs this year.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
yeah,
And the first leg, I left out and I ended up getting caught in like solid. I couldn't get out. There was people
yeah,
everywhere. They were 3 wide, coming 4 wide, and I was stuck behind all of them. Couldn't get out, and I had a handful. And
yeah,
the next start, I think I drove my own horse. I think no, it
yeah.
might be Rojo Mo, I think it was. And I think
Okay.
I got second there. I just about got her done, but Luke Armstrong came 4 wide through the stretch and got her done.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Luke, of course, from New Brunswick here, so I've known Luke for a long time, and he's
Yeah,
been involved in these young gun competitions for a long time. So nice to see him get up and get the win. So hopefully they'll keep that series running this year, and the organizers have done a great job getting that going, and hope that it's back for 2024.
yeah. Hope so. It
Yeah.
was very fun.
Yeah, and being on the sideline, or even I know us, we had one of our horses in the challenge. It's a thrill, and it draws people from all over just to see you guys out there competing against each other. Who's gonna take the title? Who's gonna get the most points? So, and you guys you're not even like, I've seen you guys in the paddock barn, and you guys seem so cool, chilled, relaxed, like nothing's phasing you. And then it's like, as soon as you get on that bike, it's like game's on. It's
Yeah,
like, watch out, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's cool to see the whole difference of your guys' mind change from hanging with each other, carrying on, to what it's like to be out there, kind of like it's like your job. So it's pretty awesome to see. Um, to this date, you've trained, you've jogged, you know, drive. Who's been your favorite horse to kind of do everything with?
well, I'll go back just before I got my trainer's license. I had a horse by the name of Surrealist. My dad was the trainer
Oh,
then,
surrealist. Yeah.
but I did most of the physical training, like on the track. I wasn't old enough to have my trainer's license then, but that really wanted me to get my trainer's license. He was owned by Dana Ghetto. He was quite the horse. He had 21 wins in North America one year. It was the second most or something. It's
Wow,
crazy.
that's awesome.
He was
Yeah, he
wanted me to get my trainers for sure.
Yeah, he was a tough old racehorse. I've seen him race quite a few times over the years, and he was a tough one for sure. So, what do
Yeah.
you do outside of racing, Zach? Besides horse racing, what would our listeners kind of be interested to know? What you might do outside of harness racing?
Well, I'm a full-time carpenter for Blackstone Construction. I have a full-time job.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do that. I go to the barns in the morning, get them jogged. I have quite a good team with me. My brother Cole and James Doyle comes up in the morning, one of my owners. My buddy Will Basker, he gets up. We get them done before work, and I go to work, come home, go back to the barn.
Yeah. And that's a familiar story in the Maritimes. There's so many, um, working slash hobby horsemen that are doing exactly what you're doing, like going to the barn early in the morning and going there again at night, and then putting in a full work day. So
Yeah.
the life. A lot of people don't realize how much time and effort goes into um, looking after horses both before your regular job and then after work as well.
Yeah, it's not an easy schedule some days.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do you
So how do you
feel,
feel the process is? No,
yeah,
go ahead, Caitlin.
yeah, how do you feel like the process of getting your A license for the Maritimes is serving young drivers? Like, do you think it's good the way it is, or do you think there could be some adjustments? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think it's good the way they have it in place now. I think it's good to get experience in overnight races first before you get your A license and move on to stakes or whatever if you're willing and up for that. Just to get more comfortable in the bike and get used to going faster before you get into bigger races, I guess.
Absolutely. I agree.
And as far as we heard your stats earlier in the podcast, Zach, and you had a tremendous year. Have you set any upcoming goals for 2024? Like, is there a certain win mark that you want to hit this year, or anything like that you've been striving for this season?
Yeah, I'd like to get 30 wins in Inverness, but
Okay.
that's sometimes hard when you're driving against Redmond. He's pretty good, so
Yeah.
that's hard to do in Inverness when we only race for 4 months of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd like to get
No.
30 driving wins. That'd be good.
Yeah, well, best of luck with that. And I know when we had Redmond on the other night, he spoke quite highly of you because we asked, some of the other drivers that he competes with over there, and he wasn't long mentioning your name, especially an up and comer and a guy to watch over the next few years. So I think you're going to surpass your goal this year, Zach. So we'll be cheering for you, bud.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
No
Can you tell
problem.
us about your first win? Like, what was the horse's name? Like, I know that first win always sticks with the drivers, and it's always one that you always kind of go back to thinking, like that first win. Oh, I could have done this better, but I could have done that. But there's always those what ifs in a story.
I think my first win was on my father's horse, so that made it extra special to me. Obviously, my father taught me everything I know, and he's been involved with harness racing since a long time. So to get my first win on his horse was pretty special.
Did your dad drive, Zach, or?
No, he just trained for many years. He's one win away from $100,000 made in Inverness.
Wow.
Oh, is that right? Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So throw me a note when the case I miss it, and we'll pop it up on the site. That's great.
Yeah, I might have to get his trainer's license back so he can do that though.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah.
Handed the reins over to you, did he?
Yeah, he gave me the go-to.
Yeah. Well, I think the horses are in pretty good hands. So we definitely wish you the best this season, and we thank you for taking part, especially on a holiday, to take part in our podcast here or I guess this morning, Zach. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Happy Easter.
Yeah, to you as well. So that'll wrap up another edition of the Behind the Gate with Scott and Kate, again sponsored by MC Truck and Train. This was our 9th episode, and we've got our 10th episode coming up shortly, and Saul Lanigan will be our special guest. And we welcome a new sponsor to the podcast, Elm Grove Farms. So before we go as well, wanted to congratulate the drivers that have made it into the Atlantic Regionals. And it's Corey McPherson along with Kenny Murphy, David Dowling, Mark Campbell, Todd Treitz, and from Nova Scotia, we have Arden Momford, Paul Angel, and Redmond Doucette. And I think probably down the road, you're going to see Zach Mullins' name on there someday. So that's a prediction from here. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm Scott Waddell along with my host, Caitlin Wesley. And thank you very much for tuning in. And again, don't forget to hit subscribe, and you'll be in for some great episodes upcoming so you don't miss out. So thanks again, and happy Easter to everybody.